What's going on, everybody? You've got the cardboard coach here with your boy, Coach Co. And team, today we got a very special guest on the podcast today. We got Dr. J in the building. No, not Julius Irving. You got Giannis. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing very well, Coach. How you doing?
Beautiful. I got your name right. I didn't.
Yeah. You know
Yeah.
what? It's Giannis on Facebook and all the socials because of my relatives in Greece.
Yeah.
But everybody just calls me John. But I love that people call me Giannis. It's the best. If only I could ball like that guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he just
Yeah.
picked up Damian Lillard next to him.
I was in class and some of my students were like, "Sir, what do you think Giannis Raptors blah blah blah?" I'm like, and then the guy goes, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom." And then the dude comes back from the bathroom. He's like, "Oh, by the way, Lillard to the Bucks." I'm like, "What?
Yeah, yeah,
What?"
yeah, and it's crazy because there were rumblings that Giannis wanted out if they weren't willing to like upgrade the team, and there
Yeah.
was rumblings that Dame was going to go to Toronto. Like I remember updating my watch list like 2 nights ago, like before the trade actually happened, and I was trying to snag like a Dame if he were to come to Toronto because like you and I are both in Toronto and like anything Toronto in Toronto is like super liquid. And I was like, you know what? Like, I guarantee if you grab something now, it might have a little bit of a bump, either when the trade's announced or going into the season. And when he got traded to the Bucks, I was like, man, I'm also kind of happy I didn't buy because it would have taken a while to like ship, and then by the time it's all said and done, you're like, why do I have this, right? So, uh, I'd like to talk. I mean, for those who don't know who you are someone who I see at card shows locally all the goddamn time. And I want to talk about that a little bit. How many card shows would you say you go to a year? I'm not even going to ask you like how many you've gone to in your life because I don't even think you know the answer to that question. But how many do you think you can go to a year?
I think the frequency by month, probably about 20, 25 times a year, maybe 30.
That's fucking crazy. You see what I
It's like,
mean? And
it's
that's
fun.
why, yeah, I know. And that's kind of why, like, I want this episode to be just a straight up hobby episode, Just like, I was like, this guy's the perfect guy to have on to talk just hobby. And especially because every interaction I've had with you has been genuine and the conversation's always been about cards and not necessarily like what's going up or what's going down, but like what you're looking for. Like, when I ran into you at a card show 2 weeks ago, very small local show, shout out the Leaside Side Show.
Okay.
Yeah. And you were looking for a Kareem. You're looking for a Kareem rookie, right?
Yeah.
Like so random, like it's not random, but at the same time, like you're in a like a it's not a basement, it's like a rec center. Like you're at a rec center in Toronto looking for a Kareem rookie card.
Yep.
And what's even crazier is you managed to find one.
Yep.
That is wild, man. Just talk to me about that. So, what does your collection look like? How do you determine what you're picking up next? And like, just go with it.
Okay. So I think my main interest is hockey.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a fan of certain players and certain teams. So, and it's a combination of certain players, but also players that I believe in that are in the long run. So obviously you got your McDavids and your Matthews. Um, so yeah, my collection I'd say it's about 80% hockey and 20% other. And within the other, it's a combo of baseball, basketball, and just a tiny bit of soccer
nice.
and Pokemon because my nephew's obsessed.
It's awesome.
Pretty much.
What? So your nephew's obsessed. So you collect Pokemon?
I collect them and I hold on to them for him.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I give them the good ones, but like I just don't want him going to school and getting rolled for a Charizard, PSA 10, whatever, right?
Yeah,
I mean, dude, this kid's like a black belt. He'll like put people down, but I just don't want you know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm
I
just
mean, it's
because
different. It's not a physical game. It's a mental one. Like.
yeah, yeah. But no, yeah, it's those shows are just fun to go to. I mean, like it's like you see your friends there. It's like it's social. and the thing is going and doing deals and trades and whatever. It's always about, for me, the experience of doing the trade or whatever. It's not about like, oh, I got this and I just like totally like scam that guy that I got this for this much. Like that's what eBay's for. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm just busting. Yeah, yeah, that's good.
I got a Crosby RPA on eBay. Not the true RPA, just a Crosby RPA from Hot Prospects Fleer. Good one.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I got it on eBay because the person posted it and it said Sidney Crosby jersey card. That was the listing.
Really?
I got it with one bid.
What did you get it at, if you don't mind me asking?
900. With
That's
all
not
honesty, 900.
that's not bad. Sticker
No,
auto, right?
sticker auto,
That's
but it was
okay.
BGS 9, third highest in pop with two colors.
Oh man. What are the colors? Gold? You got some gold in
No,
there?
it was that purple. Is that that alternative penguins sticker,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
light baby blue thingy?
Yeah, yeah. This guy said
Hey, I'll take
purple.
it. I'll take it.
Purple. It's fucking blue. This guy.
It's the Columbus Blue Jacket version,
It's a
right?
good thing they don't got you teaching
Yeah.
colors in school, man.
Yo, you know that card? They made a mistake with that card. They put the wrong guy. I don't know if you see it on eBay. It's like the error. I think they had like Latang or
Whitney. It's Whitney, I think.
Whitney. Yeah, Ryan
Yeah,
Whitney.
yeah.
Yeah. It was like, and and now people are like, oh, Sid, but it's his autograph.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. That's like it's like a common error card of the 2005s.
yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Sidney Crosby, man. Like, I feel like he's got to be one of the most disrespected like players in the hobby.
Yeah, I think in his first couple of years, I mean, he's amazing and fallen from the beginning, like anybody else. But in the beginning, he was kind of like a whiny little like whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, his nickname was literally Sid the Kid. You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah,
like, and I mean, it still is, but like, he was just like a kid, you know. And like, whereas like, I feel like Ovi was just like a beast. Like that guy was running people over. He was like way more chauvinistic. Like he had the hot stick. Don Cherry hated Alex Ovechkin, man.
yeah, the whole
Yeah,
60
yeah, yeah, yeah,
goals, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He
You know
hated it.
that game that they had, that playoff game where they both got a Hattie in the same game. And it was like listening to it on the radio. I was driving somewhere. I was hearing it on the radio, the highlights. They're like, yeah, he got a Hattie. He got a Hattie. I'm like, what the hell? I gotta get to see this game.
Yeah.
Crosby won the series, I think, though. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that
yeah,
happened frequently, man. You know what I mean? Up until recently, and that's kind of when we knew that Ovi was going to get that cup that year because they finally knocked out the Penguins. Or I don't know if they played each other. I think it was like the first time in a while they hadn't played each other.
I think they did. I think he exercised the demons there. Yeah.
It, it's very interesting. I mean, when we like sit back and like think about the lineage between these two players, especially as we go into this new era, because I mean the Penguins didn't make the playoffs for the first time in God knows how long last season. Same thing with the Capitals. It was the first time that we didn't have Ovi or Crosby in the playoffs, basically since their rookie seasons, right? So it it's underrated rivalry for sure. I don't think McDavid and Matthews have that same. It's like McDavid's in a league of his own right now.
No, this is nuts. So there's a guy I knew, like he's in Australia now. He went to university over. It's like a kid that I used to tutor a long time ago, and he got to play not junior, but whatever it is before junior. I don't know like the divisions below
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
He played with McDavid on whatever the team was,
yeah.
somewhere in New
It's
Market or
like
something.
Pee Wee or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So true story. Guys like the guy that I know anyway, he said there was the third period. They were down by like 3 goals. And the goalie just tapped Connor McDavid and goes, okay, go tie the game, Connor. Dude just goes out, ties it like it's nothing, like he's ordering drive through. Just
that's
like, yeah, okay.
good.
So he told me that before the rookie year, and I'm like, whoa. So that's what's happening, and then the whole Erie Otters, like the insanity, but jeez, man.
Did
I thought
you?
it was double.
So you have a considerable amount of McDavid stuff, including a black label, right?
Yeah, actually, I was gonna do show and tell. I have it here.
Yeah, I mean, let's
But
that's a $30,000 card right there.
I can't believe it. So I
So
had a
what did you? So I mean, we don't
yeah, yeah,
really care too much about prices, right? Like,
yeah, yeah.
but I mean, when did you buy this card?
Okay, so this card I got it um a couple years ago, a year and a half ago. It's a funny story, really funny story, like just like serendipity kind of a story. But I usually kind of keep track of what I have into it based on what I traded or paid for earlier. So I know
Really?
what
So
I have
you
into
consistently like do you consistently track the value of those cards?
it. I kind of keep I kind of it's like people do like stocks and do like an index.
Yeah.
I don't have the
Yeah.
time for that. But I for me I'm pretty good with the numbers, so I just track key indicator cards, which is basically like a quick eBay or Terapeak search or whatever 130 search. And then I just keep track of it like that because I tend to observe for the higher end cards, there's particular ratios that kind of establish between the different tiers of cards. Like you got your like platinum cards, whatever. The gold to the emerald is like a 3-to-1.
Yeah.
Great dependent, of course. And then the black label to a gold label 10 is like a certain ratio as well,
I think
depending on
it's
the
gotta
player.
be like it's close to 8, I think, no?
Yeah, I have no freaking clue. Like
I
the
think it's
deal for
close
this
to 8.
card here, that's exactly how this deal went down for that for the black label was that I didn't both my friend and I that traded for it. We wanted to keep it within the same player, so we're both making a lateral move that way.
Yeah.
This way, neither of us would feel bad if like, let's say that I gave him my big Matthews and he took and I got his big McDavid, and then Matthews like craps or whatever, or McDavid's shit
Or
after or
gets
something.
hurt or something.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
would feel bad or he would feel.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel bad. I don't want people feeling bad after
I
a deal.
love that you care so much about like the well-being of the other person, not just like immediately following the deal, but like over the course of like that card's history.
I mean, it's you're gonna see them in the shows, and thank you, and it's nice, like I'm not here. I mean, there's a way to monetize and to like to turn it more enterprising or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm honestly my goal is just to like I want one day to be able to go into the safety deposit box and be like, oh, here's my 3 cards. That's it, you
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah. So like is your goal to consolidate everything? I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
like okay.
yeah,
Okay.
no, it's good. I'm
Yeah.
my brain's
Yeah, yeah, that's okay.
that's all good.
Yeah.
The goal is to consolidate. Yeah. So like essentially what ended up happening was over the course of like I started going back into the hobby heavy around Matthew's year. And when I'd go to the shows, there was a good friend of mine. I don't know if he wants me to mention his name, so I might just pass on
That's
that. But
okay.
he's
Yeah.
a really good friend of mine, like a mentor. He's a little bit older and he very wise with the hobby. So we would go to shows together, and we were still good friends. We had tables together often. Um, I'd be with him at a show, and I'd be like, I want to buy a card, and I'm looking at some random stuff, and I'd have like 300-400 bucks or whatever it was at the time, and he'd be like, "You awesome, this guy's like Yoda." He'd be like, do you want that shitty card, or would you rather buy another McDavid? And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather buy another McDavid. So I just kept on buying BGS 9 McDavids at every show, like and repeat and rinse and repeat, like, and
Really?
that's kind of what happened. And then there was enough of those that I traded those up for gold labels, and then I had enough gold. I felt like I'm playing Monopoly, getting hotels, and
So
then
crazy.
and then I have enough gold labels. So eventually, I'm at Tim Hortons with this random person who I just met because I bought a card off of him off of Facebook. You want to meet in public, whatever. We
Yeah.
met at a Tim Hortons at a Esso gas station, Tim Hortons, before the
Nice.
expo one day, and it
Nice.
was 2 years ago. And I'm like, I won't say his name. I'll just call him Bobby. Okay. So it's
Okay.
like, hey, Bobby. He goes, "What's your dream card?" Because he's a big collector, and I'm like, my dream card is a black label McDavid. And he starts laughing. And I go, why are you laughing? It's not, it's attainable, hopefully. And
Yeah.
then he goes and shows me his phone, and he just has a picture, and it has 2 black label McDavids and just surrounded by a plethora of McDavids. I thought it was like a Andy Warhol, but it was just McDavids, dude. I was like shitting myself. And I go, what will it take?
Yeah.
And he goes, so we thought about it, we iterated, and then the next year in the same parking lot with my nephew present because I took him to the show, we did the deal. I won't say what the trade consisted of, but essentially it was some gold label McDavid's, and I gave him a cup rookie auto of his, but not the cup rookie auto.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a considerable deal. Do you So I mean, obviously you found a system that works for you, right? Like you know that you're just McDavid and Matthews are your guys, right? Like are those do you ever like stray from that and like or like is it
Oh
still
yeah.
always your friend? Yeah?
Yeah, so like I think my the larger kind of like strategy for me, and I don't mean just like from collecting or like value wise.
Yeah.
I like uh black label cards of certain players. I like high gloss and OPG platinum, preferably emeralds. So
Were you buying Obici Platinums before they took off like 2 years ago?
I bought I bought pretty much the entire rainbow, non-auto rainbow except for the emerald, the golden treasure. Forget the golden treasure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's one of one.
Matthews, Marner, and Nylander, pretty much the entire unsigned rainbow for way under around like 2K, maybe the whole thing.
The Emerald just sold for the Emerald Matthews just did like 4K like a few days ago, I think.
Oh, was it a PSA 9?
I'm not sure.
I think it was a PSA 9. That'd be good news.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. It's I think it was Hockey Cards Gong Show posted it, and there was like actually a lot of people that were like, "How is it such an increase in?" Because the last comp was like 2019, I think.
Yeah,
And what people don't understand who don't collect hockey is that OPG Platinum for a while was like a dead product because like hockey card collectors didn't give a fuck about the shiny or
yeah.
they wanted nothing to do with shiny stuff, right? Like it was it's just they were like, I want cardboard, and like the most I want from you is like a serially numbered, like they were cool with like exclusives and high glosses, but you have all these different parallels. They were like, no, don't want that, don't care. I just want, and that's one of the reasons why Young Guns are so liquid. Like, I truly don't know if like other people or people who collect other sports realize just the liquidity in Young Guns. Like, it is the staple.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many different sets when it comes to football and basketball. You could argue that like Optic is like better because on card autos and like then Prism, but like there's no question whatsoever that the most collectible cards in hockey are Young Guns. Period. There's not a debate.
This is you're so right. Like I can go to a show and let's say I want to get a card and I don't have enough money to cover the full price of it. I can be like I'll fill it in with like a McDavid Young Gun. I don't have that many McDavid Young Guns anymore after getting this bigger one, but um like that you can just use it as like a cash.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, yeah. They're like
Yeah.
there's so much liquidity in them.
Regarding the platinum, so that mentor friend I was telling you about with regard to just buy a McDavid,
Yeah,
whatever bonehead idea I had, just say buy a McDavid instead.
yeah,
He's the one because he got me hooked into platinum. He goes, "You mark my words, John." He goes, "Once the Americans start, because they like the colorful basketball cards, especially once they get locked into these platinum cards, there's going to be a lot more excitement and demand for it." So
yeah. Because I mean, for those were untouchable for a long time, and like I mentioned the Hockey Cards Gong Show. They posted something recently where there was a comp of a Matthews Emerald, which is for those people who aren't listening, is number to five or are listening and aren't aware. It's number to five.
10.
10. Sorry, my apologies. You're
Sorry,
right.
sorry.
No, you're right. It was a number to 10. And the last sale on it was like something crazy, like $498 US. Like it was ridiculous. And like the last sale was like a 4K, I think.
You
So
know,
we're talking about like a 10x in 10 years or in 5 years, less than 5 years, right? So it has less to do with the fact that Matthews, I mean, he put up a Hart Trophy, sure, but like the whole market did like one of these, right? Like his stuff flattened. His PSA 10 Young Gun was 3K at one point. Now it's down to about $1,100. So it's not a matter of like him having a crazy amount of accolades during that time, although he did win a few trophies. It's more so do with the fact that O-Pee-Chee Platinum has now become like a household name. And in fact, like a lot of people desire seismic golds, and like there's people that specifically collect O-Pee-Chee Platinum now.
And it's wild that the seismic gold, I mean, the value wise on the emerald still higher, but it's the seismic gold. It's gold.
Way more
It's like the
desirable.
leprechauns, you know, like it's gold. Like, go
It's
for the
true.
emerald.
But it's also part of like the US stuff, right? Because there's plenty
Yeah.
of like RPAs even that are like numbered, like much shorter
Oh yeah,
printed, nicer patches, right? But it's like not a gold, or it's, you know what I mean? Like there's so many faux pas in the hobby that if you're not well versed, you're like, okay, normally shorter printed stuff you would think is like more desirable because there's less of them. It's like, well, no, I'd actually rather have an out of 50 gold than have like an out of 10 like not true RPA, right? Like
yeah.
it's
The
wild.
You know, the other thing about being so niche about these platinum emeralds, for example, is that people tend to remember that, oh yeah, that's the guy that likes the emeralds. So then I'll be just hanging out at Expo, and I was sharing a space with a friend at the last Expo, and they'll be going, oh, you're the emerald dude. I'm like, yeah. And then, dude, oh, here's the Jason Robertson emerald. You want it? Yeah. Let's do a trade.
Really? You
So it's
snagged
like
the
it's
you
like an
snagged the
attraction.
J Rob Emerald?
Yeah, I got the Emerald Auto actually at the April show
Good for you. And they're on card too.
on card. That's another thing. So I'm a big Kaprizov fan. That's
Yeah.
another card I big on. So Kaprizov, I know people might not like this comment, but it's okay. It's just an opinion.
No, no, go for it.
I was so happy that his Cup Auto was a sticker because what happens is
They go
the Emerald Auto that
SP authentic,
SP was
and
on
then
card. Yeah,
yeah, and
but
then
the only thing is this: the the platinum came out first and the allure. Now, I'm in my humble opinion, I think platinum is better than allure. Um, but allure and platinum, from what I know, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, were the only times that he had on card rookie autos where he wrote his number on the jersey.
oh really?
So I have the auto somewhere. I brought some of the cards from the bank,
Yeah.
but the auto says Kirill Kaprizov 97. Then I think he just got lazy, or maybe it was another iteration in his autograph or
Well,
whatever.
I mean, he was definitely fighting with Upper Deck at some point because like there was talk that he wasn't going to finish the redemptions.
Yeah, his autograph almost turned into like a no name basketball player autograph. You ever see some of those NBA autographs?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
line,
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
the freaking line.
yeah,
It looks almost like Arabic, just a line with a circle or something. It's like,
yeah. It's going to
oh
be very interesting to see how like that transpires like over. I mean, assuming he continues to play well,
yeah,
especially because there tends to be like a negative connotation towards sticker autographs, right? Like generally speaking in the market, people want that on card stuff because the player actually touched the card, and you know, like it's like
yeah.
meant for that specific
It
card.
passes the Holy Spirit to the person.
Exactly, exactly. So just in
Yeah.
case you go play Shinny later,
Yeah.
you get a little bit of Kaprizov before you go out there.
Oh man.
Do you don't think Kaprizov is a little scary to collect, man? He's like 26 years old, you know?
I
He's
mean,
an overager from Russia. Like, no disrespect to any Russians,
no,
but
no. I mean, I think that of no fault of his own. I mean, he was discovered late, and also, like you say, the whole like Russian uh what's the word I'm thinking of, uncertainty. You
it's
know,
for me, it's less the uncertainty and more the fact that I just don't think Russians get the same love as like in the
true.
hobby. Like
Oh yeah,
Swedes are people love them for some reason in the hobby. They love them. Like Pedersen's got a thorough, crazy amount of PC. I mean, obviously we have Matt Sundin in Toronto, like Peter Forsberg, unquestionable. You know, like Nicholas
it's actually
Lidstrom there, and but even like Lidstrom stuff is still pretty cheap to be honest.
it's actually funny that you said Pedersen, because when Pedersen came out, I probably was his biggest collector. I don't
Really?
mean like throwing stacks on RPAs,
Yeah.
but at one point I had probably 40 young guns of his. Now I have about 25 true gems, 9.5s, but I have 6 BGS 10s of his,
Wow.
because the reason I'm so keen on them, and I might spoil the mystery here, is that there is no black label in Pedersen's year for the Pedersen Young Gun.
Really?
So it is the top. So if you see a BGS 10 Pedersen, it's the top grade.
We should also probably talk about this. So one of the reasons why you and I got so close, aside from like me running into you at a bunch of shows, was you sent me there's a list that you have that's an independent list that you have created of all of the BGS black label McDavids, like the BGS 10s and the pristines. And one of the things that was most interesting and that you pointed out to me is that it looks like from the serial numbers of, I think it was 16 or 17 of them.
Yeah.
There's a row. Yeah, there's a row of like, I'd say 20 cards. So, and you can tell this by the serial numbers because they all go like 01, 02, 03, all the way up to 20. There's about 20 cards, of which I think 16 of them are either BGS 10s or black labels. And that accounts for a significant population of McDavid's BGS 10s and black labels. And you actually brought that to my attention. So I want to thank you for that. But also I want you to kind of talk about how the fuck did you acquire that information, bro?
So that was by chance, but it was also, so my background is like I'm a math professor, physics stuff, whatever. But
So
like
you're cheating.
I
You're
love,
cheating basically.
I'm a G, yeah, cheating G.
No, you're yeah, yeah, you're
That's what I say,
cheating
I'm
in
a
the
G.
sports card space. You're like you're using you're using quantum physics to cheat.
So yeah, you know what happened was this. Okay, I always wanted a Matthews Young Gun Black Label. So then a very, very kind person in the hobby, I met him in person and I bought a black label canvas off of him. I still have it in my collection. So then I said to him, I go, I want a Young Gun Black Label. Do you have one? I go like in a trade or something. And he's like, I don't have one, but be careful. I go, why should I be careful? And he's like, because apparently there's some kind of nefariousness to a couple of them where they shouldn't have been blacks, or I don't know, and I don't want to put words in this guy's mouth.
No, no, that's okay.
I
Yeah,
just know that there was something shady. And that was told to me from a super, super high-end Matthews collector. Like
yeah.
this guy had like everything. He had the clear cut, he had the high gloss, he had everything. So anyway, um, I took a step back and I go, well, what about McDavid? I go, because I looked at the Matthews serial numbers because a friend of mine found a list with and a forum online somewhere that talked about the Matthews business, but I don't want to do speculation. So I was like, let me check
No, no,
McDavid.
that's okay. Yeah.
So what I just did that. I just went to Dave I went to BGS and then I searched BGS 10 and it didn't differentiate between gold and black, I think. It just gave you all the tens. I exported it to a spreadsheet, sorted it by serial number, and then I was like, and then what I did was I did a difference. So you like another column with a difference, and I was expecting to see like between a 10 each 10 or black label combo whatever. I was expecting to see like 5,000, ten
Well, yeah.
thousand,
I mean, given the prop
right?
reports, like
And then
there's so
but
many more like
dude,
9.5s than there are 10s, so that would make sense.
like just when I did that search, I think it had crossed to 10,000 graded McDavids on Beckett only. Never
Yeah,
mind PSA or whatever.
yeah,
So then I was like, okay, there's like 500-ish tens and then there's 35 black labels. So what I was curious was the differences, but also I was trying to anticipate like a frequency, like a certain, there's a distribution and stats for that to see like what would be the next one.
yeah,
So that I could be like, just as jokes to be like a psychic and tell my
yeah,
friends,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh, there's going to be a black label McDavid
In
in
like
April,
in the
whatever.
next
Yeah.
45 McDavids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
so anyway, that didn't well, obviously didn't come to fruition. That hasn't been a black label in a long time. But the consecutive nature of the numbers just perplexed me. So then I was like, I made the deal and I had already gotten the one that I have, and I was like, oh my God, is mine on that list? And then I looked and it wasn't in that chunk of data. Mine and there's a gold label that's consecutive to it, but that's like whatever. Like,
yeah. Could
you
have
know,
just been like this, like a guy who really knew what he was doing in terms of
well,
submitting.
look, I had, like I said, I had like I have a stack of Pedersen Young Guns. I sent them for grading, and essentially, if it did not pass 60x magnification on corners, edges, and then the surface shininess, like for scratch or whatever.
Yeah.
If those weren't, I don't want to send a card in on the speculation of corners, edges, or surface. Grading for centering is sometimes subjective,
Of
whatever.
course it is. Yeah, yeah.
But I'm like, I want to get 9.5s on those subcategories. So Pedersen's, I'm not sending in the ones that have even like one speck of white. Like I would take them to a show and I would trade them with someone and tell them, look, there's a speck of white on it. It's not a 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I
But you're
think,
saying it's not a BGS 10.
yeah, BGS 10.
Yes, yes, which is
Yeah.
very important designation, right? Like, because I mean, that's a whole another step. Like, that's fucking nuts that you're disclosing that to someone, right? Like, people normally like it's not a PSA 10. It there's a good chance that those that you're trading with one spec, like they could be PSA 10s, given the fact that like a PSA 10 is not an immaculate card. You know what I mean? But a BGS 10 is I think a lot hard. I mean, not I think. Look at the numbers. It's significantly harder to hit a BGS 10 than it is to hit a PSA 10.
Well, certainly, like even for Pedersen, I know I don't know the PSA pop count, but I'm pretty sure it's over 200-300. But
Way over 300.
I'm gonna just say that conservatively.
Yeah.
Pedersen BGS 10s is like 30ish. I haven't checked it in a year, but it's probably like 35 maybe now, 33. It's uncommon, which is actually really funny. There is a card. Okay, this goes out people if they're doing this already and they want to grade stuff.
Yeah.
If you bought a platinum card, like a seismic gold or an emerald or like a super high value one that is worth getting like that grading done,
Yeah.
they grade well from ComC though, or from EPAC. If
Really?
it's like if for some reason they grade well.
Can't be this year though. Have you seen the centering on this year's?
Oh, they're garbage. Yeah, I'm
Kaka.
thinking like okay, I sent in two Nylander seismic golds and a Tage Thompson seismic gold straight from EPAC, ComC, Flip, whatever. I got them from somebody through the universe of the internet. It was not no Canada Post.
You weren't looking at it, nothing.
No. And this is my mentor friend that was like platinum over ComC is the bomb. So anyway, I sent all three of them in, and they all got BGS 10.
Wow. Really?
And I'm like, the statistics on that are wild. Like a BGS 10 to a true Gem 9.5 after scrutiny, my guess is probably like 10-1, maybe
Maybe
20 to
more.
1.
Yeah.
I'm just being like
Yeah.
super,
No,
super,
I know. I know
super
you are. Yeah. Yeah.
crazy.
When was the last time you graded with BGS?
BGS, that was the Thompsons and the Nylander stuff. That was probably like February, March.
Have you, so as a big BGS holder and a big BGS believer, how do you feel about what's happening with BGS right now? Like as a company, like does that worry you at all?
I think it worries me in the sense of the recognition of the name,
That's what I mean.
but I think also, sorry, I think they're making like I
No,
don't know
no,
if you
you're
can
good.
hear that noise outside.
No, you're good.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. I think that the recognition of the name will be sufficient for the long term. People are not going to forget the name, even if it's only like 20% or 10% or whatever the market is.
Yeah.
I think PSA is the one that I was kind of like worried about for a while because they were handing out tens like Oprah Winfrey was handing out, stuff at her show when I used to watch it. You get a car, you get a car, you get a freaking car. It's like, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking
I do. That's hilarious, man.
about.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting. I have submitted to Beckett, I think, twice ever.
Yeah. Wow.
And mainly because for me, a BGS 10 is like so outside my scope. And, like honestly, like I kind of know what PSA is looking for depending on the set and depending on like the specific card in the set. Like I've been getting really good at like hammering out which, like, I mean, I'm the same way with you where I'll find a player or players and I'll just like start scooping up their raw stuff. And I'm looking for like if you look at that card over the course of, let's say you have 50 of them, you're going to kind of know what's wrong in general with that set and with that specific card. Like, I mean, for instance, like Caulfield's one for me where I've held so many like Caulfield Young Guns. So like I can tell you that the edges on most of them are absolute shit. you know, like, and I know exactly where to look for them. And I also know that there's like a little bit of a buffer when it comes to like the PSA 10s, right? But the fact that you know that for BGS 10s is out of this world. And I feel like it would be a whole nother system for me to learn. And as a result of that, like I'm not willing to risk it with on the BGS side, especially
So
because the difference in price. I mean, first of all, Beckett is more expensive to send to,
yeah,
period. And so not only is it more expensive, but I'm also losing the potential like liquidity and I mean equity to a certain extent if I get like just a true gem versus like that PSA 10.
I have been leaning toward PSA in more recent experience, and that's more so because I found someone that I trusted for the grading, and someone that I know personally.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of deals with this person, and I said, "Hey, oh, you do PSA? Do you mind tossing in my stuff in your subs?" And then he was like, "Yeah, that I do that as a service, John." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So last show I gave him like 40 cards, but the kind of the BGS 9.5 True Gem and the PSA 10, you're right. There is definitely like a thing there. Um, but it's kind of weird because I kind of learned something new about this from my friend that does the grading. I sent in, as an example, 4 Matthew Kachuk cards that were highly scrutinized under, for to Beckett, and I got
Yeah.
I got 4 true gems and I got 4 9s. So then my friend goes, "Give me the 9s," because it's like an experiment for him, but also a flip.
Yeah.
So I gave him he to grade. Obviously, he's gonna
Of
give him back.
course. Yeah. Yeah.
I gave him 4 9s and I got 3 PSA 10s.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, now I get the point. I get the point. My scrutiny is good enough for a PSA 10,
Yeah.
88% of the time,
Yeah.
and better than that in the value and the whatever. So I think, yeah, I'm kind of swaying toward the PSA for some things, but like the platinum stuff, I think I'm just gonna keep on shipping them to Beckett.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And like once you find a system, like I mean, keep doing that system, you know? Like that's kind of that was my point. And like one of the reasons why I won't even attempt a BGS 10 is because I don't even know enough like in terms of what they're looking for and like from past BGS 10s of that card. You know what I
You
mean?
know,
Like,
in my opinion, there's a bit of a fix going on there too, like
ooh.
little pop control.
Yeah.
I sent the Matthews Emerald to BGS in a sub with a bunch of stuff, and I sent a whole bunch of Platinum Matthews, Marner, Nylander, whatever, and I think everything came back 9.5 or greater. And the Emerald Matthews, I was particularly keen on getting a high value grading from Beckett. In fact, the only thing that it had was a little bit off center on the back. The corners, the edges, the centering on the front, it was glorious. Like the card looks great. But apparently they gave a BGS 10 for that card. Someone must have handed in theirs just in a within a similar time frame. And I think that they just took mine and the other guys and just kind of said, we were only going to give 110.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like spec. What's the word I'm thinking? Suspicious or whatever.
Yeah.
But that suspicion went away with the Nylander because they didn't do that with the Nylander.
Yeah.
But I do think that they do something there with the like the cards that are of like lower numbering.
I've I mean there's like rumblings and like you never know if it's true. Is that like they give out better grades in person sometimes, you know? Like
Really?
yeah, I don't know. And recently they announced that there's going to be like this grading like bonanza in Las Vegas, October 13th to the 15th. And so Beckett is offering like this like VIP grading experience where you can grade like it's like a party in Las Vegas with Beckett, but also you get to grade your cards with them. And one of the packages is like $7,500 to grade 50 cards, I think.
It's like when you go to Louis Vuitton and they give you a glass of Perrier,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
or they're
yeah.
gonna give you a glass of Dom.
Yeah, exactly. And
Couple of
so I mean, you gotta wonder, like, are those the events that end up with those, that row of McDavids where 18 of them or 16 of them have like BGS 10s or black labels, like, is that is that where the shit like this is taking place? Obviously, I'm not saying that it is, right? But I mean, when you're paying $7,500 to go on this like VIP grading experience with Beckett, you know, like I would have to say that someone would be pretty pissed off if they get like eights and 8.5s and like because they're
Oh,
like
I
if you wanted to grade one card at this show, it's $200 US.
oh, and but it's not like they don't do the PSA thing though, where they're like the what do you call it, the boost or whatever it's called, the premium thing.
What do you mean?
Like if you know when PSA gives you a high grade for like a really good card, they upcharge you or
No,
something.
there's no upcharge, but it's just straight
Okay,
up $200 to grade. Like
damn,
if you want to grade one card at this show, it's $200.
that's like a crazy math problem.
Yeah,
Like all these matrices in my head now,
yeah.
trying to see what's worth it.
This is where the teacher in you comes out. Are you a teacher or a professor?
I'm a professor, yeah.
There you go. I was like, I feel like I'm like belittling you by calling you a teacher. No disrespect to
No,
any teachers listening, by the way.
no, it's all good. No, I mean my sister's a teacher. She's a principal now.
Yeah,
I
that's
did a PhD in aerospace, but it's kind of like a combo of like math, physics, and computer science. That's kind of where it was in the area of.
and now you're out here chasing cosmic parallels.
Yes, cosmic parallel out of 75 on card auto.
Like a leprechaun, you're chasing fucking gold. Like
I swear to God, whenever I see people going after seismic gold and think of leprechauns, I can't. I don't
that's
know.
so funny.
I'm not even
Do
Irish.
you tell your kids that like you're like big into hockey cards and like do they understand like how big of a collector you are?
I don't know. I'm actually I don't have any kids at the moment, none that I know
No, I mean at
of.
school, man. At school, man.
See, this is what you're. My brain is here, and you just went like
Yeah. Yeah, no,
this
I
is
mean like your
exactly the
students,
question.
man.
Oh yeah, yeah. They'd be like, "Oh, sir, what's your best card? What's your best card?" And then I'll be like, "Cause you know, at the beginning of the semester, I make a little blurb. I say, "Hey, everybody, my name's John. We're gonna learn this and that. That's the midterm, the dates, you know, whatever." And I say, "My hobbies are, you know, I like reading, I like the sports, hockey, and I like collecting sports cards." So the first lecture, the 10th lecture, some random will just say, "Hey, sir, I collect cards too. What do you got?" So then I'll be like, "Oh, you know, it depends on how they ask the question. Like if my students like my favorite card is like Cole Caulfield rookie, and he shows me a Cole Caulfield, I'm not gonna do mega flex and show
You're not gonna
the
go to the
flash
safety
or
deposit box like you went for it,
no,
like
no, no. Show some respect, right? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna. Oh yeah, I have a Matthews rookie. You know,
yeah,
I'll show them a picture of a young gun on eBay, and I'll be like, oh, I have one of those. You know, like
yeah.
I'm not. But like sometimes, like,
You're not gonna do what that guy did to you in that Tim Hortons.
oh my god, no, no, hey, that the chance of that happening still blow my mind. That like they blow my mind. I don't know.
Nuts. Nuts.
So
Show
yeah,
me some stuff, man. You brought it over. You took
yeah,
it out of the safety deposit box. You gotta show some of the stuff
yeah.
off.
So I just brought two of them. I was gonna bring the emeralds out, but emeralds are kind of whatever.
I've seen the emerald. It's funny when I saw the emerald sell, I was like, you're the first person I thought of. I was like, this fucking guy. I was like, this guy's fucking emerald.
To be honest with you, I think I'm gonna probably send it. I'm gonna give it to my friend to resub at PSA. Go for
Yeah,
the 10.
yeah.
I mean, it's a true gem, whatever. Hopefully, but yeah, this is the. I'll take it out of the container. This is the Connor McNuggets.
Nice. Gorgeous. NFS.
Not for sale.
Yeah.
I get the shows. Why do you have NFS? Not for sale.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is and I got a couple more. This one's like my favorite card from like outside of McDavid. It's a Kirill Kaprizov high
High
gloss.
gloss.
Yeah, this is his highest grade that I know of. I don't think there's a higher grade. And this one I did a lot of trades for. And then this one I got in a show about 2 months ago. I think I sent you a message about it. I think this is like the prettiest card. It's two-faced card, so it's hard. I'm gonna just anyway. It's autographs. Okay, so
Ooh.
it has
That's Holland.
Nadal,
That's
Holland,
Nadal. Yeah.
Alcaraz,
Yep.
Burrows, and then it goes nuts. Messi. Oh, there's Alcaraz there.
Yeah, yeah.
Curry, Durant, and at the bottom there is Leclerc.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's they're stickers, but
And it's a leaf card, but
it's a
still, I
leaf.
mean, think about it. Like, where are you gonna find a card with 8 autographs of like?
Just
I mean,
monsters.
aside from like Charles Leclerc, like I really, and he could become something unbelievable in the sport of F1,
I was
But
telling I was telling from the sport, like not Leclerc, but like from the sports side of it, I was telling like my nephew, I'm like, I think that the crappiest auto, and I mean that respectfully,
yeah,
the crappiest auto probably is the Burrow,
from a
because
sports perspective,
well, I don't know, like I'm not saying because I don't know football, but
yeah,
like Durant never signs,
that's
Curry's
true.
auto is pretty wild, Alcaraz is probably fire,
Yeah,
Messi's auto,
yeah, yeah.
um,
I think
Holland,
it's between Leclerc and Burrow, but I would say
yeah,
Leclerc personally.
yeah, see, like I guess I'm not thinking F1's a sport, but I don't know. Not like a sport like a ball and stick sport.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I guess so. I guess so. I mean, maybe. I mean, we've seen F1 cards go on absolute rips, right? So I don't
Oh
know.
my god, yeah.
I don't know. But
That's
yeah, I
that
mean, I think it's cool that you have a card like that in your like PC as like and as a showcase piece, like because I find that a lot of times people just kind of disregard Leaf as like, oh, it's unlicensed, But like some of the cut autographs in Leaf, like Jackie Robinson stuff, like I don't think it matters that it's unlicensed. I'm like, this is like a cut autograph from Jackie Robinson, like he wouldn't be licensed by the MLB anyway right now. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't know, like
and
what difference
and
does it
they
make?
and they sell. I did my due diligence. I got it, and I they do sell.
Yeah.
If you see eBay auction, like that's an eight whatever they call it, 8-way 8 card whatever it's called.
Octograph, I think it
Octa,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I did see one sell way higher than what I thought it would have sold for.
And I think the fact that it's one card versus like a booklet is like a plus for me. Like I'm not a big booklet guy.
The only thing was is that the uh, the guy wanted a certain amount of cash for it, which I didn't have that much cash, and I had a table. So and I usually do trades at shows, not so much like anything else, more
Yeah.
like trading. Um, so I had to give up my Holland rookie to get it, but
What
that's
kind of
okay.
what kind of Holland rookie was it?
It was a PSA 10 Holland Sapphire.
Just a
The
base?
no the Sapphire one, the blue
Yeah, yeah,
one.
but like the sapphire base.
Yeah, sorry. See, I don't know
Yeah.
squat.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I mean I would have done that, I think. That's like $600.
The only thing I have at home other than this from soccer that's like impressive or cool, it might be very toxic to some of the Portuguese listeners though.
I mean I'm Portuguese, so go for it.
So I didn't want to say that. That's
That's
why. But
okay. That's
I
it. You
have the.
prepped me at least.
I said it respectfully. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I have the game program and the seat cover and a stack of ticket stubs from the 2004 Euro final.
Oh, I knew you
I'm
were going
so,
there too.
I'm so sorry.
I knew you were going there too.
Yeah, but
How did
I'm gonna probably give a couple to this guy George. I think you know George as well. He's really cool. He does the
yeah.
show. He has like all the soccer and the
Yeah, yeah,
autographs.
yeah.
Here's a couple of stubs from the Euro.
Why would anyone want that? Troll
I
us
don't
out.
know. I don't know. It's because these crazy Greeks.
Oh, that's what I mean, man. It's hilarious. That's okay.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That
it's
just
okay.
was a
It's all right.
buzzkill. Buzzkill.
I don't think Greece has qualified for the World Cup since. So
They
or
did. They made the World Cup.
did they win?
Yeah, they came second in the division in the round robin with the whatever we call it, the group stage.
That was a Euro Cup, by the way.
No, the
I
World
fucked
Cup.
that up. No, I
World
know that,
Cup.
but 2004 was the Euro.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My bad.
Yeah, I fucked that up too.
But
Yeah,
what I got pissed off with Greece was this. They made quarterfinals against Costa Rica. Costa Rica, I believe, had the one of the best goalies in the tournament that
yeah,
year. Like, I'm talking like 12 years ago or something,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and or 8 years ago, and and they had extra time, and the Costa Rica got a red card. So they're down a man, and Greece had it on a platter now. Like, oh, just put a fucking goal in the net,
I mean, they can't score
and
anything
they
but
lost. They
headers.
lost on
They
kicks,
can't
I
score
think. Yeah,
anything but headers. So that's
yeah. They don't know.
that's it. That's the magic form.
Souvlaki, Souvlaki headers.
I love it.
Yeah.
Brother, I am so happy you joined us today. Thank you so much for jumping on. I want all of our listeners to know exactly where to find you. maybe they can learn a little bit of, math, some of the math that you do when it comes to sports cards, maybe some other stuff. Where can they reach out to you? Where can they find you? Give yourself a plug right now.
I just want to say thank you, man. Coach, you're the best.
Of course, I appreciate you, man.
Um, the way is like Instagram and on YouTube, it's Dr. GATSIS.
How do I spell that?
Oh, GAT like Tom, SIS.
Perfect. Perfect. And they can reach out to you for emeralds, maybe some, like I said, they can check you out in terms of some of your math related stuff, and really get to know this awesome individual I had the pleasure of sitting across from today. So, John, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Team, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Cardboard Coach. Please go follow Dr. GATSIS. And for now, John and Coach Co are out of here. Peace.